I'm digging how that looks. Yeah, let's do that instead. And the highest tier weapons, obviously, BFG and Gauss Cannon. And Super Shotgun. Shotgun, hell shot. Let's put a machine gun in here. Alright, so now I just need to put the chain gun and plasma gun somewhere. Probably just put it in here. Yeah. I do kind of need to make everything a little bit bigger just so it's easier to see. Oh yeah, shit, I still have blood and corpses to put down before I even touch guns. Jeez Louise. Finish that up. I don't know why the reflection's so crazy. I think castle is more the lighting scheme I'm going for. Yeah. See, that's the thing. When you randomize it, it really does. It really does make it look more realistic. You know, it's a little bit more pleasing to the eyes, I think. I know. Here's the thing too: is like they're actually. I made these 3D objects into 2D because it makes it easier for when you're planting your models and stuff like that. I guess that could be a tip. Hey, how's it going, sweet thing? Good. I'm making a dungeon map. It's feeling pretty slick today. Had a little bit of technical difficulties last night, though. I like to think a TOA. I have no idea what that is. quite a few bodies there. Yeah, let's put one right here. Stellar. Alright, so where was I? I was putting guns down, I think. Yeah, I put the chain gun down and the plasma gun. So let's go up tiers. I'm not going to be using the skull keys, so. Alright, so for the last tier of weapons, they need to be more in this room and beyond. So let's put the BFG in this room along with the red key. Yeah, I'm digging that. Put the super shotgun in here as well, along with the Gauss cannon. And for the rest of the weapons, we'll put in here. Get another burst rifle. There's some guns that I will add extras of just because. Let's put a machine gun in here. And a shotgun. And of course, we need a way to get into the last room, so we'll put the red key card in here. Yeah, basically. I need to go through and resize the guns, but... Alright, so... ammunition. I hope that's the right ammo box. Yeah, it is. Dope. So, I went and spent the time to find the old school models for the ammunition and medic packs. Hell yeah. And, I also added in some of my own mixture of things as well. Of course. Because you got to. And I even have the Berserk pack, the old school Berserk pack. Here's a couple of the other power-ups that, I've made. So I kind of mixed some old school with new school. So, for instance, that's the haste from Doom 2016. Hell yeah. That's quad damage, baby. Like from Quake. And of course, you gotta have the Soul Cube, because this particular board game is based on Doom 3. Which isn't bad in on itself, but I even have like the old school armor. Oh, lordy. Good stuff. Flares. Alright. So these are all bonus items. I should probably leave those. And I'll have a couple backpacks. Let's see. Let's have 10 med kits. That should do.
I'm not a concept, Joel. I'm just a fucked up girl who's looking for my own peace of mind. I'm not perfect.
I can't see anything that I don't like much.
14 boxes of ammunition, 8 boxes of explosives, 8 energy cells, and 4 backpacks. Exactly. It's like, imagine Doom 3's aesthetics, but with Doom 1's style of gameplay. You know what I mean? Alright. I should probably... I think I've dealt out all of the weapons, but... Let's see, there's 2 shotguns, 2 of those. Let's have just 1 chainsaw. And then we'll have 2 revolvers and then 2 energy pistols. There we go. So we'll make the pickups just a little bit bigger, just so they're a little bit easier to see. It sounds really dumb, but I have to express this. I basically took a 3D model, made it 2D for this board game. And that is a red herring, yes, that is one of my custom weapons. Alright, let's put the energy pistol in here. Just so that way Marines have a little bit of a... Yeah, exactly. Basically what Doom 3 should have been, yeah. Alright. There we go. Weapons are starting to pop a little bit more. Because that was always, like, that was one thing I've heard is, like, well, not heard, but one of the criticisms for my game is, like, it's just really hard to see things that you can pick up, so we're going to make these fuckers huge. About the same size as the square, just so they're really noticeable. You can play as a baby in that game? That's fucking silly. Alright, and then I gotta plop the sentry. Go. I wonder if you make it alpha, what would happen? That's neat. You can get rid of the platform. That's crazy. Hell yeah. Because I want all the Marines to be equipped. Exactly. And see, that's the thing too, is because it's shrunk down, right? Like here, I'll show you what I mean. So because the items and most of the stuff is really flat, it makes it so your models don't jiggle around and, you know, they sit properly, basically.
It's because it doesn't exist. What you call love was invented by guys like me.
Is that right?
Are you sure about it?
All right. mega armor. We'll put 2 mega armors at the very end. Because Marines, if they make it that far, they deserve to have the mega armor. We'll have 2 mega spheres in this particular game. We'll put one in the main room here. And we'll put another one there. Alright. Haste.
I'm living like there's no tomorrow. Because there isn't one.
We'll do that.
I think I realized it until this moment.
Alright. We have our haste. Quad damage. Same deal. We'll put this in the last room. The speed kitty. No, no, you haven't, my man.
Being a man, too.
You're born alone and you die alone, and this world just drops a bunch of rules on top of you to make you forget those facts, but I never forget. Love was invented by guys like me.
I don't want to give the soul cube too early, though. Ah, we'll put it in there. I could always flip the doors around. That'd be neat, but... Oh, dude. Yo, Cupcake, check this out. How's this for immersion, my guy? Probably my favorite one has to be the airlocks, though, because there's like you can actually see the mechanism working. Oh, I don't think that one works. Hold on. Yeah, you can actually see the mechanism working. Chunk, like these things. This, yeah, check it out. I mean, I mainly use the airlocks just for the start and exit markers, but still. Let's see. Let's get six helmets for bonus armor, and let's see here. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we'll get 8 power kills, or glory kills. Perfect. So now we have all the glory kills we're gonna need. Glory kills are another one of my custom pickups for my version of this game. And for some reason beyond me, the actual DooM the board game from Fantasy Flight Games, for some fucking reason beyond me, they don't have the super shotgun. Like the double barrel, like the one of the main weapons that DooM guy uses, and they fucking don't have it. Granted, it wasn't in DooM 3, but... I feel like that's a little too much glory killing. So we'll set it up like that. I'm gonna have to fill that first room with like a fuck ton of zombies or something to justify that. Generally speaking, I don't like glory kills to be like have a shit ton in one room. I like them to be spread out because of the effects that they do. Jesus Christ. That is fast. That is like really, really fast. Yeah, let's put it in this one instead. Perfect. Alright, door breach charges. We'll put this halfway, just so it's... well... I should put it with the landmines or something, just because that would make more sense, but... Let's put it in this room instead, actually. Let's have 2 Berserk power-ups. Yeah, let's put one in here. Change that haste around. And add an extra barrel there. Oh, glyphs of warding? No, that's true. I was memeing with my buddies and I was saying, how funny would it be if you put a ward on your helmet, right? And you just open the fucking door and you just pop your head through and just a fireball explodes out. That'd be pretty funny. That'd be good shit. Alright, so now the med kits. I know I need to spread these out a good amount. So we'll put one there. Much the same deal when you're making maps for this board game. You really just want to make sure you don't go beyond one thing per room, whatever the item may be. It's kind of weird, but I've been playing this exact same board game for like, I don't know, 3-4 years or something. And I've pretty much worked it out to the point where it's, you know, I got it down to like a science, basically. Alright, so for the 2 mega kits, probably want to throw those near the end. So, we'll throw one right here, maybe right on top of the body there, and we'll put one there. Let's see. Welding torch is not that broken of an item per se, so I don't mind just leaving it in that room. Or actually, let's give the welding torch to the Marines like right off the bat, so it gives them a little bit more tacticalness.
It reminded me of my dog, Callie. She died when I was 8, and she crawled underneath the porch. To die. To be alone.
Yeah, let's have that be the main objective. Alright, now for armor, we'll put one in there. We'll put one right there. And put one there. We'll have 2, because by that point, Marines probably have already died, so I'm actually going to throw in an extra couple of helmets.
To die. To be alone.
see. In the first 3 rooms, there's only 1 helmet for 6 guys. So let's add 1 more maybe to that one. We'll move this vent over. Helmet there. Like, could you imagine going that fast? Like, you'd be going so fast, your fucking like your eyes wouldn't even be able to keep up. You would be basically blind. You know what I mean? You are so fast, you can literally feel your body ripping itself apart. Actually, let's flip that. Let's put the SMG there, and then the box of bullets there. And we'll put some ammunition all over the place because it's bullets. Oh, that was a plasma gun. I only have like 4 more boxes, so we'll double that. So the general rule is wherever there's a gun or a weapon of any kind, you usually put the corresponding ammunition beside it. At least a box. There's a very specific reason why I say that. Because you burn through ammunition really fucking fast in this game. It happens. A lot more than it should. I'm pretty sure you're, like, now that I'm putting more and more thought into it, dude, 7,000 feet per second. That is like almost, that is almost as fast, that's faster than a jet. Dude, your bones and sinew and shit would be ripping apart. That's metal as fuck. I feel like why do I feel like I'm missing some ammunition? Or I shouldn't say that. Yeah, no, this is. Hey, Rex. This is, my modified Doom the board game. I'm, in the middle of level designing, my friend. I'm designing a dungeon. I don't see any other ammunition. Yeah, actually, it's simple, really easy to play. It really is easy to play. You can learn to play this sucker in about 5 minutes. I'm not exaggerating. The only time that it requires, you know, what's it called? It's easy to learn, but it's hard to master. Because there's a lot of variables in place. You also got to have a little bit of knowledge on how monsters are run. Imagine Dungeons and Dragons, but the dungeon master is actually trying to kill you. That's the reason why I love this board game so much. You can basically take out all of your munchkin frustrations, which is great. I think that's enough ammunition, like box bullets and shells. So we're gonna move on to explosive ammunition now. So let's give. So Marines, they actually start off with they actually have frag grenades as one of their items starting off with. However, they don't have explosive ammunition. So that is one thing, is like you got to be very conservative on where you place your ammunition and how much you give them. So I feel more comfortable if we flip that around. Yeah, that looks a little better. Oh yeah, it's DooM, my guy. There's like dead bodies. It was like it was what I was saying earlier, which is I turned basically 3D models into 2D models. So yeah, it just makes it easier when you're playing. And let's just let's put one more box of explosives. We'll put it right there. Alright, still have 2 more boxes, so we'll put one in this hallway here, and we'll put one right here. And then we'll load up with the energy cells next. Energy cells, pretty obvious what they're used for. Obviously. You use them for plasma guns, stuff like that. Alright. And like I said, as a general rule, whatever weapon is there, you want to put at least 1 box of ammunition. Well, about Speed Kitty, my guy, everywhere you go, everything would be exploding. Like windows and all that shit would just be exploding behind him. Which is cool, but pretty inconvenient if you're trying to like sneak around or something. Actually, let's get rid of that box of bullets. We'll put the energy cell there instead. Yeah. Alright, there's the Gauss cannon, so we'll put an energy cell there. BFG. Put the good old energy cell right there as well. And just like that, we put the last 2 energy cells in this last room here. We'll put one there. We'll put one there. And let's see here. All I have left for pickups now is just backpacks, because I already planted the flares. So backpacks are generally pretty good because they give you 1 of each type of ammunition. So we'll put 1 in here. We'll put 1 in this one main room here. I'm basically planning that this is the main room where like the fucking Marines basically straight up get all their good stuff. So I want that to be worth it when they do get there. And we'll put, actually, let's add 1 more backpack in here. So we'll put, I'm gonna need 1 for this room in here, so we'll put that 1 in there, and we'll put that 1 right there. Alright, so let's do 3 card cancels that the Marines can pick up. So card cancels, how they work is in gameplay, the Invader player, who's basically like your dungeon master, he's going to be able to play cards, right? Now, that could be summons, which he's summoning demons up from the very fucking pits of hell to rip and tear your face apart. Or what's known as an event card. And now, an event card could be like Earthquake, where the Marine players move 10 feet or 2 spaces in a direction of the Invaders choosing. So these card cancels basically let you go, no bro, that shit ain't happening. So we'll put 1 in there. We'll put 1 in here. Just kind of liven that room up a little bit. And we'll put the last 1 in there. So those are all the last of the hookups, I believe.
Have you ever felt that way?
All right. Last but not least, we get on to one of my favorite parts. We got to do the monsters. Alright, so let's work this out. First things first, I gotta take a random tile, because I'm gonna use that as a scale. Oh my god, it'd be like this overwhelming rogue wave of air. Alright, so, given the size of the level, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we'll do 9 for each of the tier 1 monsters. So I even wrote it down, and I broke it down very basic of how it works in terms of demons. So they're broken up into different tiers. Tiers obviously meaning different strengths and stuff like that, right? I even wrote down what you do for your churn, and then the spawn choices. So each one of these dudes, generally speaking, have some kind of an ability. There we go. Yeah, dude. I always say this to my dungeon masters, is like, hey man, there's nothing wrong with adding a bit of realism. There we go. 2 armor, 1 health. Yeah, the dungeon... Oh, see, that's the thing, too, is unlike the real-life version, right? You just kind of set the dungeon up as you go, right? And the way it's played is very much like Deathwing, right? However, there's a lot of advantages to having the tabletop simulator, which is the version that I'm playing on right now, which is you can pretty much preset everything, which is great. And it gives you more time that you can add, you know, environmental things, you know, make it look pretty. I'll actually explain a little bit about the game itself after I'm finished all this. Oh yeah, I even got the old school models for the creatures as well. Like there's the Doom 1 Revenant. But me being me, I want to use the 3D models because I'm all about that immersion right now. And if your computer's actually good enough, the lighting is good enough that you can actually see the independent shadows and stuff like that of the creatures. So like I said, all I'm doing right now is I'm just picking or getting a fair amount of my my demons here to put into this this place. I even have some homebrew monsters that I've added in as well, such as a slasher. I use the model from Dead Space. I don't care. That's good shit, and it fits. It fits right into what I need. So, generally how I put it is there's different tiers, right? Different strengths of different creatures and stuff like that, right? So, there's a general amount that I usually do. So, for the weaker tier enemies, I usually have a shit ton of them, and rightly so, it's Doom, right? But as you kind of go up in tiers and all that good stuff, the stronger enemies, I kind of make it so there's less of them. So for instance, I'm only going to have 3 pinky demons and I'm going to have 3 maggots. So, which is kind of weird in on itself, I know, but there is a very specific reason why I do this, because one of the things that you do as an invader is you spawn creatures, right? So it'd be kind of awkward if you have like a fuck ton of the creatures already and you can't spawn anything, which has happened in the earlier days of when I was playing this, because, you know, I was still learning. Exactly. You know, guys like Archviles, Summoners, I'm going to have a lot more of them. Just because they are rare to spawn. So I always feel like it's not that big of a deal just to give them a bit of juice. Alright. So we'll have... There we go. Have a couple Summoners. We'll have 3 Hell Knights. And then we'll have 2 Vagaries. Yet again, there's a very specific reason why I'm doing those kinds of numbers. There we go. That's more properly sized. Physics, am I right? Because the thing is like there's 2 separate styles of gameplay going on when you play this game. Oh yeah, dude, he was heading for the border. It's very RPG-esque because most of the Marines, they don't really, they start off with Garbo weapons, right? So their damage potential is not that good. And last but not least, need a Cyber Demon for good measure. Alright. Oh, right. I need a Caca Demons. Can't forget about the floating meatballs. Alright, I believe that is our cornucopia of demons. Alright. So, I'm not going to randomize them. I know it sounds weird, but I'm not going to do that. Because if you do that, you kind of fuck the Marines. So, like I said, you work backwards, right? So, let's see here. Let's have 2 lost souls. Let's have a Z-Sec in the first room. And what else can we throw in there? Let's throw a couple of trites. And let's throw a zombie. Okay. Yeah, exactly. I actually had that happen. One of these guys I played with, he made a level and he was really wanted us to get into it, right? Really wanted us to play it. So we're like, all right, sure. And the first churn, we started in an airless terrain, which in Doom means that if you don't have oxygen at the end of your churn, whether that's through a tank or you're inside of a base, you immediately take a wound. Now, wounds and damage are different in Doom the board game, right? It is not interchangeable. So, yeah. The game starts, you move your 4 spaces or sprint or whatever, you take damage, you open up the door, and immediately greeting you is 3 of these guys, Z-Sec, which are basically zombies with shotguns. And the thing is in Doom is almost all of the demons do the same kind of damage that you do, just in, yet again, tiers, right? So the Z-Sec, for example, right, he rolls a red dice, a blue dice, +1 damage, right? So let's do some theory. So red, blue. Ouch. So see these bullet holes? That's the damage. Okay? So he did 6 damage +1, so 7. He did 7 damage to the Marine. Okay? And the reason why I say damage is different than wounds is because he did 7 damage. However, Marines naturally have 2 armor. So your armor basically blocks out 2 of that damage. So really, you did 5 wounds. You see what I'm saying? That one Z-Sec just almost basically one-shot a Marine. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. In Doom the board game, you're not Doom guy. You're the Marines. You're basically playing you as one of the background characters, if that makes sense. And it has a very interesting mechanic as well. I can't get over it. It's good shit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So that's not too bad. That's not too bad for the first room. So we're going to summon a Revenant. We're going to plop him down on top of the key here. Exactly, yeah. And the reason why I say Cyber Demon is because you always want a Cyber Demon as your ending boss guy. And we'll throw a Vagary in there, just to be extra sure. However, the thing is, though, with Z-Sec is they're incredibly weak because they have 3 armor, 1 health. So if the Marine does 4 damage, he basically just one-shot that Z-Sec. Which is kind of a theme that kind of rolls in this game. Everybody does damage. Everybody does a lot of damage. Alright, we'll put a Revenant there. Zombie there. And Lost Soul. Let's make this one a good room. There we go. So I'm basically, what I'm doing is exactly, that's exactly what they are. They are glass cannons. And they have to be, because like I said, the Marines, they don't start off with really good equipment. They start off with shit pistols. Which is, in itself, is a bit of a meme in the board game, because nobody uses the pistol that you start off with. Nobody uses that shit. Because almost all the time, you're going to empty your magazine, and you're not going to do enough damage to actually make it be worthwhile. And the reason why I'm loading up this room is because the Marines have to go through this door to find that, to get the yellow key to go back through that door. And they're already going to be pretty well equipped by the time they go through there, so. Actually, let's put a brawler on the other side. I like that. So, we'll do a little less in that room. We'll take away a zombie. I'll do. Oh, dude, no, here's the thing. The welding torch is fucking great. It is one of my personal favorite homebrew items. Because you may ready up and seal a door or open a sealed door. Right? Now, the reason why that's awesome is because doors, much like Deathwing, is a huge source of tactical prowess. A lot of things can change if you and the boys can mainframe from exploding the doors. I like the idea of this room just being fucking nasty.
Okay. I'm not a concept, Joel. I'm just a fucked up girl who's looking for my own peace of mind. I'm not perfect.
I can't see anything that I don't like about you.
Oh yeah. It is actually a pretty valid strategy to do that, actually. Oh yeah, here we go, the imps. I like the idea of getting the brawlers out of the way. And we'll put a Cacodemon right in that spot. Because I want to put a Pinky Demon here. Oh, dude, hell yeah. This game, I'm not even kidding, man. For the Marines, it requires so much teamwork. It really does. If you have one guy that's like fucking the dog, you can pretty much GG right then and there. Trite right there. Oh, actually, let's switch that around. See what I mean by it looks like Doom 3, but it's Doom 1. You know what I mean? Very, very much so. little too big. There we go. Although I kind of like the idea of that being a big-ass monster closet, so we're gonna switch that around a little bit. Gonna put a big-ass Hell Knight right there. Yeah, we'll take the commando out. Maybe flip that around for a maggot. Alrighty, take your easy, dude. Well, that's all the monsters and weapons placed, so now all I gotta do is just do my lighting. Many different lightings and effects. Oh, that's fucking lava. That's fire. Why does it say it's steam when that is clearly fire? Yeah, there's the steam I was looking for. Actually looks pretty fucking wicked. I'm really happy how this lighting's turning out, my guy. So fucking dope. I don't want every room to be have that blue light, but I'm digging it. grid's not helping currently. Yeah, sweet. Maps is done. What the fuck is going on with my frame rate all of a sudden? What the fuck? What the fuck is going on with my frame rate, man? Oh, that was weird. The fuck? It's like it's spasming. Fuck it, man, there is some bullshit going on here. And then it goes back to being perfectly fine. What the fuck? Dude, what the fuck? I can't even put hidden zones down. What the fuck? Well, that's a bummer. Well, it's done. Other than the hidden zones aren't working. So that's a bit of a problem. I've never seen this before. It never is like this. Yeah, like as soon as I put a hidden zone up, it just immediately frame rates drop. I've never seen that before. I mean, I've seen it before, but not to this extent. Like, this map is small. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's so dumb. I don't know why. I don't know why it's like that. I don't know why the fuck it's like that. It's never been like that before. Well, that's really lame. Well, I guess it's time to make another one, I guess. Stats are so wrong for that cherub. I don't know why. Oh, it has 6 movement. Holy moly. Yeah, I totally forgot I like redid everything.
Suicide Nobody can stop me now. My engine's revving faster than ever before. I'm gonna stop for the traffic lights. I'm gonna push the pedal straight to the floor. I'm burning up all the city streets. You know I can't wait to feel the beat. A suicide cruising 145. You know what I mean. Pedal to the metal, baby.
Yeah, dude, making another one. Yeah, it came out actually pretty half decent, the other one. Yeah, I'm digging that so far. I should have it just be a cop out. Like it'd be just be a wall there. Yeah. Yeah. Nope. I think it's a bit I think it's a bit close. So we'll do every 2. Yeah. Oh hell yeah. Yeah, I'm going for more of like a bigger, wide open space kind of deal for this one. And I can always put walls in wherever I need them, so... Yeah. I'm digging that. Yeah, I think I got the framework done. For some reason, the hidden zones aren't working, which is a bit of irritation, but whatever. I mean, they're working, but it just, I don't know what's going on. This is the one that I did. I still haven't come up with a name for it yet, but... I always forget about the doors. We got all of our Marines here. They go through here, get into a bunch of fights. I I'm actually really, really happy with the way that the lighting came out. I don't know if that's the right one I'm thinking of. I think it needs to be on like medium for the shadows. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, it's medium. Check that out. Stellar. I'm really excited. I'd love to play this. Maybe when the hidden zone situation gets handled, maybe I'll be able to start playing it again. But anyways, I think that's all I'm going to be streaming of dungeon making today. I'll probably play something else for a little bit. I'm really happy how this one turned out, though. Really happy how this one turned out. Look, especially the before and after. Like, originally this was like nothing. Although there's one thing I'd like to put back in. Shit. I'm pretty sure it's just... Fuck. No. I'm trying to remember what that effect was. I think I might have it saved under the props or something. I gotta find it now. It's gonna bug me. I can't remember if it's like called fog or... Dust cloud, that's what it is. There we go. That's more of what I need. Yeah, I just need to color it different. Boom. Don't even see it. And what that does is it creates a smoky, foggy effect, like so. So that's what the Marines are greeted by when they wander through the door. There we go. We're about eye level with the Marine model. About that. Stellar. Stellar. Yeah, nice. Except for that candle needs to go. Good thing I noticed that. There we go. The battle pass? Nah. Ah, man. There we go. Now, everything is all locked down, so it shouldn't get mixed around or anything. I even got some extra models for the Marines if they want to choose different models. And yes, those are the Marines from StarCraft. All colored for all the different players. You know, you got Warthog, Raven, Wolf, Viper, Honey Badger. And then you got the Doom version. I even made some custom models for them as well. Because, yeah, orange and teal and yellow aren't part of the vanilla game. That was all me. Yeah, they even got their own little emblems for each dude. You know, Warthog, Raven, Wolf, Viper, Rhino, and Honey Badger. I actually ended up using those exact badges for my Warhammer 40k army. Like their little emblems on their shoulders and stuff like that. Yeah. I even have my own custom Doom model as well. I'll spawn them in. I actually sat there and did some texture work. Yeah. Let's see, I gotta get some good lighting up in this bitch. The only reason why I say good lighting is because I actually went in and I customized every little bit of my dude. See, his SMG says get some, like Modern Warfare. My dude's got like tattoos all over him. And if you notice, the camouflage pattern that I put on my guy is actually Canadian pattern. Yeah. I went spray painted the helmet a little bit. It's not a super amazing job, but I think it's pretty cool. I even got my own little custom pad my dude's on. On my workshop, I actually have an untextured model for the Marine models. So if you felt like if you enjoy the game enough and you want to do your own thing, make your own guy, you can. It's actually pretty easy doing texture work. It's really hard, I find, in the sense of like blending. It's easy to paint things like that, you know, like the orange and teal here. That was pretty easy to do. And I also like that little feature too. I should try to put that on these guys as well, but what that does is whenever you pick up your piece and move it, it shows exactly where your piece was when you picked it up, which is really useful because in this game, there's so much tactical shit that goes on that there's many times where you're like, I'm gonna go do this, and then you stop, and then you realize that's a bad fucking move, so you go back and do that. You know, so you can recount. Little helpful things like that. We even have one with health bars as well, just to help keep track. I can't find this. I'm pretty sure it's in my Doom bag. Yeah, Doom Boys. Yeah, my one buddy, he even went through and, like I said, he put health bars on them with their armor and shit. So you can keep track of, like, yeah. Because, like, yeah. I swear I had one for the Marines as well. Yeah, like I said, I'm really happy how this map came out. It looks very nightlifey. I could change the lighting around a little bit more, but I think it's good enough on its own. Speaking of, oh man, I want to play this map super bad, but my hidden zones aren't working properly. I put up a hidden zone, frame rates go to shit, and it's never been like that before. So I don't know if it's because I'm streaming or what, but it's not normally like that. Alright, so to kind of talk about how to play this thing a little bit, I should show what I'm talking about. So what I mean by it's really easy to learn, but it's really hard to master, is because much like XCOM, there's no real right answers in your decisions. Here are all the different weapons that Marines will be using. This top bit up here is my personal homebrew that I added in there. And here's some of the basic weapons. So I even have a little thing written down on the side here, which kind of breaks it down as well. So, long story short, much like DooM the board game, the Marines' ultimate goal is to get to the exit. The big old exit airlock. They might have objectives, depending on whatever the Invader player, or basically the Dungeon Master. So, for instance, there's an optional objective that I put down here, the ACS module. Or I could take it out depending on how we're feeling, right? But, you know, mostly it's flavor. That's all it really is. It's fluff. So, how it usually works also is your Marine's color actually determines your turn order. So what I mean by that is, okay, my frames just dropped there. All right. So what I mean by that is red always goes first and orange always goes last. So it goes red, yellow, green, blue, teal, orange, right? And then it switches over to the Invaders, right? So it's really neat because you basically have two separate game styles going on at the same time. So on the one hand, when you're playing as Marines and stuff like that, it's very much survival, making very tough tactical decisions, very co-op-y because, you know, you're working together with your crew and other things like that. And it's all about gaining power-ups and very RPG-esque is a very good way to put it. On the other hand, when you play as the Invader player, which is like this game's Dungeon Master and stuff like that, your play style is a lot more of only how I could. I can't really describe it super well, but as opposed to you gaining power through weapons and power-ups and stuff like that, you have more of a toolbox. So what I mean by that is Marines, basically you see what they get. They start off with perks, so I'll just draw a couple for example. Generally speaking, Marines get 2 perks, so we'll draw 1 and 2. So I got Efficient Killer and Plasma Rifle Specialist. You start with the Plasma Rifle and also 2 Plasma Canisters. Efficient Killer. You always have at least 1 shells, bullets, ammo token. You cannot lose or give away your final bullets / shells and bullets are basically the same thing. There's only three types of ammunition, 4 technically with the soul tokens. But anyways, so this perk gives you infinite ammo. You can never lose your last box of ammunition for bullets/shells. In addition, whenever you use a weapon that uses said ammunition, you also get +1 damage and +1 accuracy, or range, whatever you want to call it. That is represented by the skull and the bullseye, respectively. So our Marine gets those perks. See what I'm saying? So each Marine gets perks, right? Your perks also are determined by the difficulty. So whatever the difficulty that everybody agrees upon determines how much HP you have, how many bullets you start off with, and how many perks you have. Most of the time when we're playing with 6 Marines, I always say 1 perk per Marine, then that way it's not overpowered. Because that's a lot of people to have in a fire team. This game's only really meant to have 3 Marines. I'm not even kidding. The vanilla version only allows 3. So, Marines go through the turn order. Invader player, let's say it's the start of the game. The Invader player draws cards depending on the difficulty. Generally speaking, it's 7. There's some custom cards in there. And like that, the Invader, they split their turn up into summons and events. They can only summon once. However, they can play these things, which are called event cards, how many that they have in their hand. So, if I was Invader, I'd be like, okay, I summon this dude here. Now, because if you're playing my version, there's expanded monsters. So, as it's so handily written down, even though that's kind of wrong, is you have a choice between either pinkies, slashers, or maggots, because they're in the same sort of tier, and they take up the same space. They're 1x2. So that's generally that's the rule. Is if they're in the same kind of category. I even kind of made like a little helpful graph as well. Like these guys here, you can choose to spawn one of those 3, one of those 3, one of those 2, so on and so forth. So you can kind of mix and match of what you need, right? Because each demon has their own set of abilities, their own set of stats, and kind of how they work. So, for instance, Trites here, they're pretty fucking stupid. But here's the thing. They have, let's see here. We'll come over to the little board here. Here's the Trite, the little spider dude. He does a red and a green, and he has an ability called Scuttle. Okay? He has 1 armor, 1 health, 5 movement. So what that translates to is if a Marine does 2 points of damage, he kills that thing outright. Now, you could use your fists or a pistol. Generally speaking, Marines are going to use their fists. However, his ability is Scuttle. What that means is anywhere where there is a vent, right, which I so handily labeled down and, made it very pop out, is those fuckers can go through them for 1 movement. So for 1 movement, they can pop through the vent, attack, use 1 more movement, pop back through the vent. That's why they're fucking nasty. They're really weak. Generally speaking, they'll do 1 actual wound to your health. But that's why they're nasty, is because if the Invader player is smart, he's going to stack them up where he has like 6 of them, 7 of them. And you got 7 of those motherfuckers popping through the vent, scrapping at you. It's a terrifying thing to think about, actually. In the same category, right, we have cherubs, which are these little flying insect babies, right? They're pretty bad. And my homebrew little bastards, the lost souls, the floating skulls. Anybody who's played Doom fucking hates those things. So they're in the same category as the Trite. Oh, you should be scared. You should be terrified. So the reason why they're in the same category is you also have Lost Souls, which are kind of like on the opposite side of the fence of Trites and Cherubs. Lost Souls, they are in stupid fast. They have 8 movement. So 8 spaces. And you got to think movement and time and all that jazz, much like D&D, where every round is about 6 seconds. Every square is about 5 feet, right? Is a good way to think of it. So these motherfuckers are moving like 40 feet in 6 seconds. And their main strat, if you will, the main thing with Lost Souls, is they have an ability called Watchful. Okay, so Watchful in this game is much like D&D's version of opportunity attacks, except it's nastier. Because how Watchful works is, let's say, for example, let's say we have a Lost Soul here, right? See how I hope you guys can see the squares, right? Let's say you have a Marine, right? Now, how Watchful works and why it's so fucking nasty is because the moment the Marine steps within 5 feet of that Lost Soul here, he immediately gets an attack of opportunity, which sucks. So you immediately get headbutted. That's pretty bad. Let's say you want to try to get behind him. So you go ahead. You still think that you're in the threat of movement. You take that 5-foot step. Well, guess what, Sonny Jim? That's another fucking hit right there. How Watchful works is anywhere in those 5-foot steps of this creature, right? Any way that you move around, every one of those steps, that's a hit. That's an attack of opportunity. Now, mind you, it doesn't do a lot of damage. It does a red and a green. It's got no pluses or anything like that. It's the reason why I say this game is really easy to learn. So you take a red, a green. Let's roll that up for theory's sake. Okay, good example. So this little fucker, for his first hit 3 damage. That's what those bullet holes are. The numbers are range or accuracy, however the fuck you want to call it. Point is 3 damage. Marines, by default, only have 2 armor. So that's a wound. You see what I'm saying? On paper, it doesn't seem that bad, but in practice, that's going to fuck you up. You see what I'm saying? And the highest damage they can do is 5, okay? Right? So at basic, they're doing 3 wounds per hit. That's if they roll max damage. You see why I'm saying they're pretty fucking gnarly? I mean, even if you have a helmet, it's still going to suck. It's going to slow you down because you can't move through enemy models and whatnot, right? So from the Invaders' perspective, exactly. That's exactly it. Area control. That's exactly what they're for. They are literally, I designed them to be literal meat bags. They are meant to block the shit out of the Marines. And as an invader, it gives you a chance to keep drawing cards because that's the gameplay from the Invaders, right? You can also use them as cover, right? Like I said, you can use it to give other chances because many different demons, many different abilities. So a good strat, for example, what I like to do is you get 2 lost souls per their spawn. Now, why that's good is if you spawn a bunch of them, and you back him up with, let's say, a Revenant, right? Which is the Bone Daddies, I like to call them, which are these little fuckers right here. The skeletons with the shoulder-mounted rockets, right? They have an ability in this game which is really fucking broken in compared to the Marines. Because Marines, they need either grenades or they need the grenade launcher, right? But Seeking, what it is you can track things without line of sight. Line of sight is super fucking big in this game, okay? So how Seeking works is anytime you see any of these objects, right, you got to consider that they break line of sight. Even though, as you can see, this crate isn't super tall. It's not technically full cover, but it is in Doom the board game. If your line cannot go through that square, you do not see it. It's not corner to corner like D&D. It's better in the sense, but bad. You see what I'm saying? Because basically what that does is it makes cover or anything that breaks line of sight a big fucking deal, right? So, but you can use that to your advantage as a Marine, right? Like that's the thing I keep saying to Marines, and it's one of my favorite things of why I like this compared to, let's say, XCOM or a lot of other tactical games in the sense, Because, for instance, it's not a homebrew rule. It's actually in the vanilla rules. Is let's say you're playing this Marine, you take the advance action, right? I should probably break that down too. As a Marine, you have a choice between 4 things you can do. You can advance, you can unload, you can sprint, and you can ready. Okay, advance, you move 20 feet, you attack once, right? Unloading, you attack twice, no movement. Sprinting, obviously you can guess what sprinting is. And then ready. And a ready is really cool because you can kind of mix and match what you want. So what I mean by that is how it's described is you're basically sacrificing, you're basically doing an advance, but you're changing one of the things, right? So you can either attack or move and then use a Marine order. So what I mean by that is for instance, I could say I'm going to ready. I am going to ready a aimed order so I can re-roll any misses, and then I'm going to attack. Or you could say I move 20 feet, I go on Overwatch. You see what I'm saying? But like I said, you can mix and match also. You could ready. Let's say I do an attack, and then I'm going to use my ready action to go on Overwatch. See what I'm saying? You can mix and match things. Same as movement, right? If you advance, you don't have to move the whole 20 feet and then attack. I'm not even shitting you. You don't even have to use your fucking movement. You don't even have to use the full of your movement. You could quite literally go 5-10, shoot, 5-10, go back into cover. Like a real firefight. I mean, you're kind of leaving yourself open. I mean, that's the thing, is it depends on the demons, because some demons have, like, close quarters and stuff like that. Kind of like Warhammer, right? They can engage you in close quarters. So that's really fucking neat. You can't do that shit in XCOM. You know what I mean? In XCOM, it's like, if you move one square, and then you attack, that's it. Your turn's done for that guy. It's like, I still have movement. I'm super fast, guy. How come I can't do it? All right. Yeah, so, like I said, every demon's got their own quirks and abilities. And as you can tell, everything is very tit for tat, right? So, for example, every ability that the demons have, the Marines can get as perks. Now, in my particular version, there is, I believe, 38, and I added another one a couple months ago. So there is 39 perks in total. That's a lie. There's one other perk. So there's 39 different perks that the Marines could have. That really changes shit up. Not to mention, too, is you have the basics of the level. Yes, okay. You have where the weapons are. True. But you have 2 huge variables that even, let's say, if you sat down and you played one of these dungeons with a group of people, I guarantee if you take those same group of people and play through the same dungeon, it's going to be completely fucking different. Completely. Because of the variables. You have over 170 Invader cards, and you have 39 different perks. That's a lot of shit that could totally change the entirety of the thing. And dice rolls are a very, very big thing as well, because in this game, it's much like XCOM, where every time that you attack, even if you have almost a 90% chance of success, there's always that big old fat X that'll give you that miss. That's the thing. With demons and Marines, if they roll an X, the attack misses. The whole thing just misses. You don't just skip that dice or whatever. You miss the entirety of the attack. Which is kind of brutal and unforgiving. Yeah, okay. But again, it gets you really jumpy. It's like, imagine if every roll was a crit fail or critical success. That is some butthole clenching shit. And much like D&D, it doesn't matter how good of a plans that you got or how much meta knowledge that you have, this game don't give a fuck. This game don't give a shit how much meta knowledge you have. Yeah. And also, again, to add more variables, it's really cool because you have all these difficulties. Exactly. It's literally, I actually went through a stint where I didn't even want to play Dungeons and Dragons. I just wanted to play Doom the board game because I know I'm a basic bitch. I love rolling dice, and it feels good. It feels good to kill shit. And this is one of the very few board games, and it's actually become a meme. I call it the dead demon storage. Do you see a sign on my garage that says dead demon storage? Because it ain't fucking there. If you get that reference, I love you. But yeah, generally speaking, you will play this game, and I shit you not, Marines will have 40, 60 kills, 80 kills a game. That's a lot of shit. I guarantee that's. I guarantee if you do a D&D dungeon, you're going to be nowhere near that. I guarantee. But it's the different things. It's like I said, I love D&D for its things. I love this fucking board game for its stuff. Right? Like, much like Doom the actual game, there's not really much of there's a story, yeah. You can fluff things up and add lots of flavor, but it's not the main focus of it. The main focus is it's you versus the Invader. It is a game where the Dungeon Master legitimately tries to kill you. So when you earn that victory, when you finally get to that exit and you win that victory for the Marines, it feels so fucking good. It feels so good. Because this game is tough. If you play as a Marine, it's one of those things, my man. It's it can snowball really easily both ways. But other times the stars align and things just work. Things just work. It's yeah. I don't mean to overhype it. It's just it's one of those board. I almost think of it like a comfort food for board games. It's one of these board games that I just keep coming back to. Oh, right. Speaking of, everybody does die. Everybody always dies. That is a guarantee in Doom the board game, is that your characters are going to die. And in fact, if you notice, I actually have these handy dandy Doom guy faces to represent the Marines and where they died. You know, we got the green, we got the blue, teal, orange guy, right? Now, here's the thing. Marines, or more specifically in this game, you have respawns. That's right. Respawns. So, unlike D&D, where if you meet the shitty end of the stick and you die, that's not the end of it. You respawn the next round. In fact, you even get your actions back. However, this is kind of the main gameplay value, or gameplay mechanic of it, is every time that a Marine dies, the Invader player or the Demon player gets one of these handy-dandy frag tokens. Okay? Now, at the start of the game, you agree on how many frag tokens, or lives, if you will, that the Marines have. Generally speaking, I usually go with 6 or 7. Because that's generally a good amount. With 6, 7 frag tokens, with 6 players, or even 3, that's enough for each player to basically die once. Right? Which is pretty good. You gotta understand too, is like that is a, depending on how many Marine players you have, it's pretty fair in that sense. If you have this many guys in a squad, there should be no reason that, like, this first room looks pretty bad. But trust me, this is nothing. I don't even think maybe a Marine will get down to half health in this first room. Maybe. maybe. That's like if all the creatures hit and most of the demons survive. They're very much tissue paper. Oh man, I want to fucking play really bad now. All right, so and here's all the different abilities here, right? All the different things. They're all pretty, you know, self-explanatory. And then you have your marine orders here. I even wrote them down on the side for the tabletop version, tabletop simulator version. Yeah, basically the whole game fits on 4 pages. Yeah, see, order of play, all that good stuff. Spawns, how it works too, which is also really interesting as well, because when the invader player is spawning demons and stuff like that, there's a very cool mechanic, in my opinion, which is when you're summoning things, you can't just spawn right behind a marine or any of that stuff. You actually have to spawn your demons out of line of sight. Remember I was saying line of sight's a big deal in this game? That's one of the examples. So let's say if there was a... so, for instance, I could spawn anything in this room because the Marines are behind this door. You know, they can't see through the doors, obviously. However, there should be hidden zones all over the place. But basically how it works is... how the game works is that there's what's called active rooms. So Marines have to open the door, peer inside for that room to be activated, if that makes sense. So everything's kind of on limbo, and so what that translates to is, let's say if I want to spawn something in this room that the Marines haven't been in, I can put things in there, but I can't move the creatures around, and I can't act of their own initiative, if that makes sense. It is a board game after all. The Marines literally have to open the door, then the room's active. Then shit can go down. But once the room is cleared and the Marines continue on, then you can start spawning things behind them. You can start even being really crafty on where you're spawning things. You know, it's always good to double check the Marines' line of sight, so maybe you can get a sneak attack in. But that's the thing, though, is you got to be thinking several steps ahead as the invader player. Because if you spawn something in that is in close proximity to a Marine, you got to guarantee that thing survives for one round. Because when you're summoning it, you can imagine it in your mind's eye. They call it like summoning sickness in the game. But basically, you can imagine with your mind's eye that the demon's coming out of the pits of hell. Like the pentagram appears on the ground. You know, the claws break out. It's climbing out during that 6 seconds for that full round, right? So you can kind of think of like, so there's a lot of strategy, a lot of strategy in play. It's just, like I said, it's 2 different styles of play, right? One is very much like a game of chess, and the other one is very much like a game of hardcore survival, you know? Because that's the thing. You got to accept that your crew is going to die. You're going to run out of lives. It's going to happen. But all it takes is one Marine to get to that exit, and it's GG for Marines. For Invader players, on the other hand, they got to burn through all of the Marines as frags, or their tickets, their life, extra lives, whatever you want to call it. And then they have to go into basically final stand, or, last player standing, where it's like, you know, basically as Marines, if you can agree or agree before you start to this rule, but I usually do it just because it makes the most amount of sense, because you never know. You never know. Especially this game, it goes fucking tipsy-turvy either way sometimes. But yeah, you got to burn through all that and then pick them off one by one. So yeah, like I said, it's a lot of tactics. It's a good game. The only issue is, much like a lot of board games and war games of this style, games take a while. It takes a while. Like this particular dungeon's gonna probably be about 5-6 hours, easy. And it also depends if I'm playing with my buddies that have played this lots before and they're big brain. Heck yeah, it's good stuff. Exactly, but that's the thing though, with a lot of games that you commit to, is you're only going to get as much out of it as you put into it, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's the new perk, Dual Wield Expert. So let's take a look at all these marine perks. I don't have graphics for some of them because I'm not an artist. Although, to be fair, not all perks are equal, to be fair. God, there's so many fucking perks. Oh, Lith is a good one. All right, so these are all of the perks. God, I love it. Oh yeah, man. There's always new tricks and stuff like that you can do. Let's see here. All right. So let's go down the thing. Can do, buddy. Yeah, that's really nice of you, actually. Alright, I'll just flip them over so they're easier to see. But the descriptions are on them. I just need to Photoshop. Kind of like that. Alright, I will be right back. Also, ugh. Invaders. Well, with that, this dungeon's done.